Hello, hello. Welcome. Come on in. I'm just getting set up here. Of course, it's always the way. So, yes. All right, so new products. Let's have a play. I love Stampin' Up because of the coordination amongst the products. Many of my stamping friends will say exactly the same thing. We have a beautiful stamp set, and then of course we have matching dies, which make creating so much easier. So today I'm using the Opulent Oasis Stamp set, but doing something different. So I'm teaming those up with a completely different die set, and these are the Scalloped Blooms dies. This is from another bundle, and this has a sentiment stamp set that goes with it. So really, you can team these dies up with quite a lot of different stamps because, yeah, it just lends themselves to being to doing that when you've got nesting dies like these. I have to show you how big they are. Like, we're talking, that would be like 6 by 6 maybe. That kind of goes, it's sort of maybe it's 5 by 5. You've got an inch on either side. So that just shows you how big the biggest one is. And then, of course, you've got quite a large number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in total, down to quite a nice little tiny one that you can use to create little bouquets with. And what I like is 3 of those have beautiful stitch detail, and we'll be using one of those today, so you'll be able to see. Now, I must admit, I've just started playing with these. I haven't even got to the other ones that make up this set yet. So, yeah. So that's quite funny. I think that's quite funny. Haven't made it past the nesting layers. But anyway, all right. So, today I've gone ahead and die cut 2 of the shapes already from this set, so just using 2 that are in the middle. And so I've got one in crisp cantaloupe, and that's the one with the larger the larger size of the 2, but it's also got the stitch detail. And the other one is just basic white. To stamp on this and use our create a sentiment on that one. So using the new ink, one of our new ink colors, crisp cantaloupe, which launched this week in the brand new magnetic ink pad. Did you see that? How cool is this? Yeah, having a lot of fun with those, I can tell you. So this stamp, this sentiment is from the Opulent Oasis stamp set. And so I'll be using this one and a couple of the leaves today. So we're just going to stamp this. Now what I'm going to do is feed the T and the S of the thanks down into the a couple of the little circle detail of the scallops, and then I'm going to use that to help me make it straight and feed the top of the L up into one of those so that it fits nicely. And that is really just about looking at the size of the stamp that I'm using and how that works best with the shape. Sometimes it doesn't matter. You can just go ahead and stamp it any which way. But sometimes paying attention to those tiny little details just give you a nicer looking result. Just one of those little designy things, Anyway, okay, so I'm going to pop those aside for now, and we'll come back to those in a little bit, because I'm going to bring in my 2 leaves from the set, which is these 2. Now, what I like about this stamp set is it's distinctive in style, which means it's kind of got a, I know in print terms we call it a halftone. So you see the dot matrix that actually makes up the stamp, but what it does is it picks up ink and puts it down at different levels so that you get a lovely sort of tone through your image. So I'm using the 2 there, and I'm using 2 different greens to go with them. Our new Peaceful Pine, another in color, and then I'm going to team that up with the smaller one. And for the larger one, I'm going with the lovely soft Seafoam, which is very, very light. And I agree, Monica, those scallop circles, you can use them on every project, couldn't you? So what I purposefully like to do is, when I'm using leaves like these, or, you know, I mean, it works well with leaves because you'll quite often get small ones and larger sized ones, is using the larger size in the lighter color. Sometimes it works to do the opposite, obviously. You can really create lots of different effects and different designs when you mix and match. But quite often I find the darker colors can overpower the lighter colors. So by just making that choice of keeping it to a small size can help to balance the elements out. So yeah, just a little thing that, another little designy thing. Anyway, I'm going to stamp straight onto my card base today. So if you're watching, hi Chris. Yep, no worries. I'll catch you on the replay later. No worries at all. Yeah, so card base. If you're, like always, I've gone ahead and prepared it already. So we usually start with an A4 piece of cardstock that we cut in half on the long edge, and then we will score and fold it in half as well. And, oh, don't forget to crisp. I always forget to crisp. All right, there we go. Crisping, done. Now it sits flat, and we've got a great little flat work surface to do. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I know that some people get quite anxious stamping straight onto their card base. Things can sort of not turn out exactly the way that you you know, might envisage in your mind. And if you're making this at a later stage, add in another layer, just cut another layer of cardstock and just yeah, stamp onto that. This design will work. Alrighty, so I'm going to use my scallop circle as a little bit of a template. So this is going to help guide me to where I'm going to stamp. So I'm going to start with my large one first and ink this one up. All right. Now that it's inked up, I can do this on the table and not shake you all. All right. So what I'm going to do here is just always keeping my orientation. So this is my, you know, this is up, down, obviously my folded edge. So I'm going to stamp this. I want my leaves to hug my main focal element here. So I'm just going to do that. So using my scallop circle as the guide and, you know, that will help me position where I'm going to stamp my leaves. Alrighty, so let's do this. I want another one up this way, but I don't want the bottom of my stem to poke out, so I just need to make sure that I get, it's going to go somewhere around there so I can get that visual. It's so gloomy now, it's outside, so I've got some extra lighting happening. I hope that it's not glary for you, but yeah. Alrighty, so so that's going to kind of work in like that. Okay, so I'm just going to do 2 of those at this stage. I might do a third, you never know, but I'm going to bring in my Peaceful Pine and just play with that one for a minute. Alrighty, now I'm also going to use generational stamping for this one, so I'm just going to bring in some scrap paper. Okay, now I'm going to ink up my pine, my leaf, smaller leaf in the Peaceful Pine ink. Now, our new ink pads, felt pad, so this one means that to ink it up, instead of just tapping, you want to sort of give it a bit of a rub first, so you can sort of twist and then tap it off to smooth out the ink. But of course, I'm going to stamp it off because I don't want it to overpower my seafoam completely. And now I want to fill in this little area here with my smaller leaves. So I'm going to just move that out of the way there and pop it on. There we go. And then I'm going to pop another one up here, and I might just pop some through here as well. Them so that you've got leaves filling in between other leaves, so you can see the dark and the light leaves just nicely there. Okay, I think I am happy with all my leaves. So I like how it looks like a bit of a mess here, but really, you know, once you pop your other elements in place, it all sort of starts to come together, doesn't it? Alrighty, now let's go back and finish off our sentiment piece. Yeah, and then we will almost be done. So what I'm going to do today is do something a little bit different again. Now, most of the time we will use our layers when they nest, you know, our nested dies that create elements. We will use them symmetrically like this. But today, because I've got a bit of a, you know, the start or focal point of my card sort of is stemming from here, I'm actually going to emphasize that by pushing this down into that corner of the bigger die, so that I've got a little bit more of the crisp cantaloupe and more space around the right side. So yeah, so what I'm going to do here is just match up the scallops so that these 2 little points become that focal point there. Alrighty. So I'm going to stick these guys on flat. So just use some green glue, liquid glue. All right, now let's get this guy going. And that's what I like about green glue. It gives you that wiggle room, doesn't it? So there we go. I know some people are just kind of like, ah, my OCD, but that's okay. Bear with me. It's going to stick with me, I should say. This one is going to come together. I promise. I wonder if Sharon's watching. My Sharon is not one for, she's very symmetrical. There we go. All right. So let's just stick this one on here. So I'm going to pop this one back in the center of my card. And now what's going to happen? Yeah, so now you can sort of start to see it sort of blooms out that way. It sort of starts from here and blooms out. So yeah, I think it's kind of cool. But yeah. Alrighty, so let's just put a couple of little finishing elements on. We will make, let's tie a little bow with some twine. There we go. All right, glue dots. Where are my glue dots? All right, always with a nice little glue dot. All right, I'm just going to roll him into a sausage. Kind of works better when you have something fine like this bow that's made of twine. Pop it in there at our focal point. He's going to twist now, isn't he? He was sitting fine before. All right, there we go. Awesome. Alrighty, now, but yes, I hope you enjoyed this little project that we had, that we created today. It's just a nice little fun one to ease into the weekend and into our new colors and new, you know, stamps and dies and things that have just launched this week. And yeah, if you enjoyed this one and you are looking to create something a little bit more stepped up, a couple of more layers, a couple of more elements built in, but a similar sort of design, you might want to go and check out my tutorial library over on my blog. I've just posted a new project to that one. So yeah, that might be something that might interest you if you enjoyed this one as well. There is a link in my on the actual page. So yeah, again soon with some more inspiration using some lots of new products. So yes, thanks for joining me today, and yeah, I'll catch up with you all soon.